Hey guys, what's up? It's Christian and that is Corey and we are Super Kami Guru. And this is our review of Naruto 604.
Our chapter opens up this week with Obito with this brand new Zetsu suit. And there is actually two color pages that do look really cool. One with Obito standing with his suit on where he's standing in front of the giant ghetto statue. And he just looks really awesome right here. He just looks like super confident and ready to kick some ass. And there's also the other color panel where you get to see sort of the before and after shots of Obito. You get to see him with his scarring and then him as a kid again. And it's okay stuff. But really, we get to see that Obito is getting ready to head out and save Rin and Kakashi. But before he can leave, Madara's like, "Hey, man, you better not leave. I know you're going to come back, dude." And Obito's like, "Yeah, whatever, man. I'm going to do this on my own." And there are some really cool shots in here that sort of remind us, you know, that this is Madara again. We get to see his secret room with all of his weapons. You see some shurikens, some cloaks, his big fan, his sickle, and more importantly, you actually get to see his Kusarigama, those chain weapons that was used against the battle with the 4th Hokage. So this is just more stuff to show us that, you know, who could it be? Was it Obito that fought him? Was it Madara? Who knows?
Okay, so now that Obito is running to the battlefield to save Rin, he asks about the Yellow Flash, or, you know, the 4th Hokage. He's like, "Where is he? Why isn't he helping?" And they're like, "Who?" And I thought this was really strange immediately. It's like, why don't the Zetsus know about the 4th Hokage? Something might be up. This might be a ruse. And Obito is also like, "I got this fight," because the Zetsu's like, "Hey, let me fight. Let me fight for you." And he's like, "No, I got this. When both of the Sharingan eyes are together, because Kakashi has my other one, I'll be super powerful." And then the Zetsu's like, "What about if we mix the Senju and the Uchiha, you know, powers? Maybe it'll unlock something new." And that's probably hinting to Obito's weird time-space jutsu where he can warp around, since he doesn't exactly have to turn on his MS to do that. If you actually look, his MS is almost never on. It's only now on in fighting Kakashi, when Kakashi turns his MS on. So this is pretty cool. We're finally finding out some more things about Obito. And he has this weird flashback about Ren being stabbed. And he's like, no, don't imagine these things. And then we go to the last part of the chapter.
Obito shows up, and Ren is dead. Kakashi killed her. No, in all seriousness, it is pretty crazy. Obito runs up on this scene where Kakashi's using his Chidori technique, and he just ran Rin right through.
He ran Rin right through?
That sounded kind of weird. And she's obviously dead and everything, or she's about to be killed. And Kakashi, obviously, he doesn't look like he wants to do this. He looks like he's upset about this, particularly in the final panel. They love doing that half-half shot where half of Obito's face is watching and half of Kakashi's face. And you can see there's actually tears coming down Kakashi's eyes. And again, this is kind of symbolic, going back to the whole thing where, you know, Obito would always cry in battle and everything. So that's pretty much the end of the chapter, but it leaves us on another cliffhanger because we don't know what's going on here. We don't know if this is all a ruse by the Zetsus. We don't know if this is, you know, Kakashi's mistake in battle, and we don't even know where the 4th Hokage is. But I think that there's one thing we can definitely take from this. This is all a part of Madara's plan.
Okay, so what did Super Kami Guru think of Naruto 604? I like this chapter, but it's slow. And I felt like we were kind of like, we're finally getting there. We're finally finding out something about what made Obito turn into Toby. And then it's just like running through the woods, and then he gets there and he sees Kakashi, and they have to leave us with a cliffhanger, so we don't find very much out this chapter. It felt like I waited a week for not enough stuff. Let me just put it that way. On that note, though, I also think that it's weird that they didn't really know who the 4th Hokage was. That may be a translation error in the sense that maybe they did understand who he was talking about, but it didn't seem like that when I was reading the chapter. And then the other thing is, it also seems like Obito is about to become evil. This is pretty much it. He's going to just leave after he sees this and go back to Madara and then be a bad guy. And it's still kind of a weak excuse. And who knows? This may just be a ruse. Maybe that's not really Kakashi and Rin. But if those are Zetsus faking it, what happened to the real Ren and Kakashi still? You know, it didn't really answer any questions.
I do agree with you in saying that this was a pretty good chapter, but again, the pacing was a little bit off this week. I felt like Kubo was writing this week because it seems like 2 things happened, that's it, but there was a lot of little filler images, you know, thrown in. The whole thing with Obito running into Rin and Kakashi, I don't know what to take from that yet, because it could be a ruse, it could be a trick. If it is a ruse, Zetsu is one hell of an actor because he's, you know, putting on quite an act for him. You know, he's got Ren looking all upset and bleeding out the mouth. He's got Kakashi even crying. So if he's going the extra mile to do that, good for you, Zetsu. You should totally act in a Coen Brothers movie. But the thing is, I just wish a little bit more would happen this week. We knew that Ren was going to die. We knew that Kakashi was going to somehow be involved. And we did get that. The only problem is we only got it on the final page. and it took forever to get there. We just had to watch Obito running through the woods a lot of the time. And yes, I did love that panel at the beginning where he's all, you know, badass standing there. But then again, that was also the last panel from last week as well. So, you know, standing around doesn't warrant a very great chapter. It's good to see that Madara is still alive and kicking,
yes.
And it's great to see his little armory, giving us a little look at some of all of his different weapons, giving us some more hints about what's really going on here. And I think you're right in saying this is going to be the point where Obito's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to be evil from now on. It's not going to be that simple, but he's probably going to go back to Madara, and this is where Madara's going to be like,
it might
saw
be
some pretty
simple.
fucked up shit, didn't you? Yeah, it's time for me to be Orochimaru and you to be Sasuke. So, you know, more is going to be happening in the future. It's just, we don't know more about this Rin Kakashi thing. We need to learn more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can't establish anything yet.
I want like 2 chapters just about this Rin Kakashi thing. Maybe that might piss some of you off. Maybe you want us to get back to the war. You know, remember that? Remember the war thing? But I'm down to see this, because if we're going to establish the main bad guy of this series,
it needs to be done right.
It needs to be done right. Let's just, you know, spend some chapters doing it.
Now keep in mind, this is a manga. It's only restricted to about 15, 17 pages. So there's only so much Kishimoto can do. When they do air this and animate it for the anime, I think it'll run a little bit smoother, and they'll probably be able to jam about 2 chapters into each episode. So it'll probably work a little bit better in the anime than it is in the manga. But also, our opinions could change in a week. You know, I just reviewed Bleach this week, and there was a huge twist, and that changed how I feel a little bit about the last 4 chapters. So anything can happen, guys.
Okay, so for a rating this week, we want to drop a 7 out of 10 on this. It was a good chapter. It's good to actually start to see the Ren and Kakashi thing come to fruition, but we didn't get much, and that's why we're only giving it a 7 out of 10. What did you guys think of the chapter? Let us know with your comments below. And if you enjoy this video, make sure and give us a thumbs up. It is always appreciated, guys. Until next time, SuperKamiGuru9000 out.